I've been getting a few questions, quite a few questions about the assignment that's due on Monday. I thought I would just put this little video together just to run through the form of how we put together a lesson plan for when we're using Microsoft Word. So the rest of this video will show you how I expect that to be done. This example was created by a student in this class a few years back. We've modified it a little bit over the years to make sure that it fits exactly what we're doing in the class today. Thought I would just run through the parts of the example and talk a little bit about each section, and so you really do understand exactly what we're trying to do here. First of all, of course, you need a title for your lesson. You need to put in your name. We want you to be proud of enough of the work that you hand in that you'll actually sign it and put your name on it. The next thing you do, the thing we always start with the lesson, is the standard, because the standard ties back to the curriculum that we are going to be required to teach in our school, and of course this will be different for each school. We generally have used the Kearney Public standards just because they have them organized nicely on a website and they're fairly easy to get to. So we list the standard, and of course with the standard is the indicator, which is ways of indicating that that standard has been met. The next thing you do as you put together a lesson plan then is you decide, what are my objectives for this particular lesson? How am I going to make sure and determine in the end that my students have met the standard? And of course we understand that standards are the broadest, and then indicators and objectives never for a lesson, or hardly ever, will actually meet a complete standard, but we work on standards as the students progress through school, and hope that they will get there, plan for them to get there by the time they graduate. The next section in this plan is the learning resources. There are a couple of things that you might want to note here. First, we do require that you have one non-web-based resource. Normally that's a textbook, and you might get that textbook by going to the UNK library. If you're off campus, you can go to the website and find one. Most schools still do use textbooks today, so we think it's important that you're familiar with the textbooks that apply to your content area and your grade level. The other things that are listed on this lesson plan are actually optional. You don't have to have those on your lesson plan. You will attach the bibliography that we've talked about earlier and we learned how to do earlier in your lesson builder on TaskStream. So you might just put a note in here that bibliography is attached on TaskStream or something like that. Might note that copyright laws that we studied earlier in the semester do apply to our lessons in this class. So I think it's a good idea to just include a little copyright note. This lesson notes that all the clip art came from Microsoft, and we know that Microsoft does allow you to use their clip art in any way that you want, as long as it's for non-profit educational use. So you can just put in a statement like this in. But if you found pictures or images from the internet that belong to somebody else and you have not gotten permission to use them, you'll have to put a note in here that you're using them under the fair use provisions for education, and then justify them that way. But you should have some kind of a note in terms of copyright. And if you're using images that belong to somebody else, it's probably a good idea to cite them here to avoid plagiarism, because by definition, anything that you put on a class assignment and sign your name to is considered to be your work unless you indicate otherwise. This lesson has a table of contents, and you'll notice that they are hyperlinked together so that it's easy to navigate from one section to another. This isn't really a requirement of this assignment, but this was a kind of a nice little touch that this student did. The important parts then of the lesson plan itself are you must have an introduction. And when we teach, it's important that we get the student's attention before we teach the lesson. This is sometimes called the anticipatory set, or somehow we have to put something in that is interesting that will get the student's attention. And a lot of times it's something that might be something bizarre, or it might be a funny story, or it might be a song, or another book that you're going to read to lead up to the lesson. But some way we need to get our students' attention and get them focused, and that kind of information goes into the introduction. Then for each objective that we have, there will be a section of the lesson plan that is going to provide the content that the students need to understand, things like vocabulary, words, concepts, and those kind of things for each one of the objectives. You'll notice that in this lesson this student had 4 objectives. That means we will have 4 sections, and each section is specifically and explicitly aimed at learning about what you need to learn for and then accomplish a particular objective. For example, her first objective was that students are going to learn about the parts of the insect, so that in the end they can point to the parts of an insect when we give them a live or a mounted insect to look at. So this first section is all about the parts of the insect. The sections each have 2 parts. The first part is any content that the student needs to have. In this case, she used a nice picture, some descriptions, and a couple of websites that describe the parts of an insect. The second part of each section will be what this student called projects, or we sometimes call them activities, and these are things that the students will do. It's not enough just to present information to the students and assume they get it. We are going to present information, and then we also want students to do something active so that they are actively involved in their education. So each part of our lesson includes the content that they need and then the activities that the student will do. You'll notice then that the second objective in this lesson has to do with understanding the life cycle of an insect. So if we go down here to section 2 of our lesson, this is all about the life cycle of the insect, and this student chose to come at it from the question of where insects come from, but we talked about eggs and the chrysalis and the different stages that insects go through. And again, there's content about the information, and then there are activities. For our third objective, for this one it was about what do insects eat, so there's content again and activities to do about what insects eat. The fourth section, this teacher just decided to have a section on allowing her students some freedom and creativity to go out and just find things that are interesting about insects that maybe they didn't know. So she provided some websites and then activities that the students can follow to go out and just find things that are interesting. Your lesson then will always also have a conclusion. Our conclusion is our last chance to really cement and solidify with the students exactly what we want them to remember. So your conclusion should always be a summary of what is it at the end of the lesson that you want the students to make sure that they remember from this lesson. So it's just another chance for you to kind of present the information in a condensed form and a reminder of the students, okay, there were 4 things we wanted to learn in this lesson. These are the 4 things. Make sure that you remember these things. So those are the parts of the lesson plan and the way we want them to be organized, and it's important that there be a direct one-to-one correspondence between the number of objectives and the number of sections, and then that every section has two parts. One is the content, the words that the students need to understand, and the concepts that they need to understand in order to meet that objective, and then the activities that they're going to do to meet the objective. So I hope this helps to really nail down exactly what we're looking for in our lesson materials as you get ready to finalize and put this together and turn it in on TaskStream. Good morning. I thought I'd make a little video here to walk through one more time to show you how to turn in this first assignment. When you're logged on to your TaskStream account, you need to choose your Fall 12 TE206 online. You come up to a screen that looks like this. We did this first assignment in Microsoft Word, so this is where we're going to be turning in the assignment when we get ready. But in order to have the information that we need, we actually build the assignment in the Lessons, Units, and Rubrics tool under the Lesson Builder. So I'm choosing Lessons, Units, and Rubrics, and then I'll go to the Lesson Builder. If you pull up the assignment that you created, you will have the appropriate blanks filled in here. This is just an example one. What you need to do is we're going to create a hyperlink to this assignment. So you'll notice up here there's a selection button that says Generate Link. I'm going to click on that. That's going to give me a link to my assignment, and I'm going to copy that link on a Windows computer which I'm running. I'm just going to hit Control-C to copy it. If you're on a Mac, it's the Option-C command, and I'll just hit OK. So I'm done with this. I have the URL of my assignment on my clipboard. Now I'll go back to my TE206 page. I will choose the interactive word selection, and you'll notice at the bottom of the screen there's a place to put your link. So I'm going to click on the link button. I need to name the link. I'm just going to say link to my Word assignment. And then where it says website URL, that's where I'm going to paste by hitting Control-V on the link that I've copied. I can put in a description if I want. It's not necessary. And then I'm going to click on the Add Link button. Now you'll notice that there is a link, currently attached links. If I want to test to see that it works, I can click on that. It will take me to my lesson builder, which is what I want to see, so I know it works. So then I go over to the right hand side, I hit save and return, and it says, are you ready to submit your work? I say OK, and I hit the submit button over here on the right hand side. It says you're ready to submit your interactive word project. I hit yes, submit my work, and then I can close that window. This will take me to my scores and results page, where I will see that under the interactive word assignment there is a button that says cancel my submission. If I made a mistake and I wanted to undo and submit it again, I can do that, but this indicates that I did get my assignment submitted. If I go over here to history and comments, I'll see that it was submitted at 8:41 a.m. on September 25th, which happens to be when I'm making this video. So it's all there. So that's the process that you need to do, and that puts it into my box so that I can score it.